Well, McClean, welcome to the potty.
Thanks, bro. How you doing?
Real good to have you on, man. We've been trying to have this in the works for a while now, so bloody good to get you on for a yarn, especially after a big night. So
Don't help me like that.
the voice is a bit croaky, but we soldier on.
Yeah, we
soldier
move,
on.
you know.
We move.
The late nights will
We'll prevail.
yeah,
We'll
they'll
prevail. So for people listening out at home, I won't steal your shine and try and do like your introduction for you, but Will's probably one of my earliest mates. We went to primary school together at old Pukerua Bay Primary School, the best school in all of NZ. And you were what, a couple of years younger?
Yeah, 2 years younger.
2 years younger. Yeah. And I remember, oh dude, just so many crazy memories of growing up. I think it's that like homebrew song, Basketball Court.
Yeah.
That just sums up so much our childhood. Like, you know,
Real,
just fucking skateboarding until it turns dark, playing basketball court on the hot concrete and our feet burning from the sunshine, like all of that sort of stuff.
Real, bro. Snotty little kids playing 5-on-5.
That's bro. That's and I think it mentions your name in that song too. It's not like hit a 3 over Will or something like that.
I don't know about that. No.
But yeah, bro. So feel free just to give yourself an introduction, who you are to the people listening to the pod.
Man, my name's Will McClean. I'm a hip-hop artist from Pukerua Bay and like living in Wellington. So yeah, born and raised around these ways. I've been playing music since I was a kid. Essentially guitar, the classics. Shout out Dad for teaching guitar when I was 4.
Yeah, bro.
Taking that torch and falling in love with hip-hop thanks to Mum playing Lauryn Hill, Nisha Mystic, like so many amazing, incredible artists. And then eventually I decided to start writing some rhymes because I was just rapping along to every song that I loved, and I was like, hey, I think I might be able to have a go.
Yeah, bro. I remember, and if we go back to like your first sort of like musical memory, like what is that? Because I know your mum, Sarah, shout out Sarah. She has always just had the best tunes playing in her lounge. You're right, like Fat Freddy's Drop,
Always.
Lauryn Hill, Shay Fu, who you've opened for as well, which is crazy, full circle. But yeah, what's like your earliest memory of like a positive or sad memory about music?
The most clear would be the day before the second Fat Freddy's album came out, Dr. Boondigger. And Mum pre-ordered the CD, so it was the CD days.
Back in the CD,
Yeah.
no Spotify back then.
No Spotify, none of that. And it got delivered a day early, so we had like a day before it released listening party, just me and Mum, and Jack, I'm sure, was there. But I remember being so geeked out, and so that was like the most clear memory. I think was one being, oh my god, it's arrived early. Like that was where my excitement lies.
Yeah.
But the older I've grown, the more I fell in love with that album and Fat Freddy's as an artist. And
Yeah, bro.
that's the one.
No,
I'd say.
it's yeah, I fucking love Fat Freddy's Drop as well. They're probably one of the best NZ bands. But I also remember, man, it must have been like when did you really get into it? Because I remember there was this point where it just went from like normal Will sort of into what everyone else was into, soccer, basketball, wearing snapbacks, all that sort of stuff, to then I think one year going over to your house and you just had like all of your wall was just decorated with like J. Cole. Ed Sheeran was huge back then, massive inspiration.
Big time.
And I remember I'd go over to hang out with Jack, your older brother, and you'd just be like reciting like Ed Sheeran loops and stuff on the loop pedal. And like what was that change for you?
I think, yeah, I just was so inspired by taking in music and we're having it around my room and just at the ready to grab my guitar or grab whatever I need to grab. Just, it was almost, I don't want to say escape because that sounds like real like heavy duty.
Life was so hard.
Yeah, like, life was a blessing, but it was just like a breath of fresh air, being able to express my thoughts in a musical way. And then, well, first like stepping back, be able to have someone else express my thoughts and be like, I feel the same.
Yeah.
And so that's what was the real love for it. And then years later, realized that I could express my thoughts truly from who I want, like from what I want to say.
Yeah. How do you view like your music? Is it like an almost a form of therapy for you, or is it just like a creative outlet?
Both, I think. I think it's I started just because I wanted to rhyme, and the more deep that I go into rhyming and recording and producing, I need to stop saying that's one thing I always do.
Dude, when I have to edit back these podcasts, the amount of times I say like little words like that and little stools when I'm thinking, oh, it's just so normal. We do it all the time. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I caught myself. I was having a mean yarn to one of my homies about the ums and the likes and the ahs.
Yeah,
but we move. I'll try.
We move.
I'll be trying to be more conscious, but
dude, I do it all the time. It's so fucking annoying. I wish there was like an app which could like re-listen to your podcast and just take out all of the ums.
I think, actually, there's a bit of a sidetrack, but I saw a video about how people will really listen and be locked in if you just have a pause instead of an
True.
Like, Buzz, like, it's like, it is again. But nonetheless, we, what was the question, sorry? The therapy.
Is it therapy, like, as a creative outlet for you?
Yeah, I think at times I'll be feeling something and it is a massive weight off my shoulders when I get it down. The last song that I released, Man on a Mission, featuring Casual Healing. That was the first true really release of something I didn't even know I was holding on to, I think. And then further from that, every time we play it live, I'm just getting transported further away when the crowd's kind of gone now, which is a weird thing. I've never had that before. And so, we played on Thursday and my eyes were closed for half the song. And then I came to and I was like, oh shit, I'm at a gig. Like, It was the weirdest. Like,
have you had that before?
No, first time.
What do you think it is? Like a extreme form of like flow state, or?
Pretty much, like meditation. It was almost like coming out of a meditation. I haven't done too much meditation. I haven't delved too deep, but the times that I've really felt like I've meditated, it was similar to that, which was pretty surreal.
Wow, that's so crazy, bro. Yeah. And I think I feel really lucky. Like, I've seen you through and I know it's just the start, but like, I've seen you through your musical journey, literally from like the first gig that you did, which I think was at our friend Lizzie's little sister Jessie, her 21st. That was probably
Lizzie's 21st.
Was it Lizzie's 21st? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Shit.
Right over there.
Yeah. Right over in Parramatta at the boat sheds. Yeah. And that was probably your first time.
That was it.
That was it. Yeah. And we had no idea you like could rap or anything, but like the way that you performed on stage, it's like, fuck, you're just an absolute natural from the get-go, which is sick.
That was dope. It was because I had the homie Cammy, to rock with me. So I've been blessed with the stages and steps that I've been taking, and naturally just was walking down this path of creation and releasing. Yeah, I've been blessed to have so many people around me that show me the way, that light the torch for me to grab. Like the first time, so that was the first time rapping in front of people, apart from in a car or around, and then first time being on a stage was at Pukerua Bay School for the Matariki celebration. Nice. And I played to heaps of kids and heaps of parents all sitting there just smiling, but like just posted up. Then later that night, Half Caste had a gig up in Paikakariki, and I jumped up with Nico, and that was my first time with stage, crowd, like there for music. There for music, yeah, not for like a 21st and see. Because you probably, at that, your first ever one, you probably did that, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 songs. Yeah. Then it was like 21 shots, let's go, let's get fucked up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Kiwi culture. Yeah. But it was such a blessing to be sharing the stage with Nico Tahuki, and I think that first experience of true like crowd and stage interaction just pushed me to be as good as I could be every time I grab a microphone, I think. In New Zealand, not in New Zealand, but in Wellington and New Zealand, actually, there's such like rich talent in the music scene. And you would have so much access to all of these like incredible musicians. I'm sure half the time you're like, how the hell are these guys not blowing up already? You know, like Nico, you mentioned, Reese Rich, whole bunch of awesome artists like yourself. What is it like to start as a musician and try and make that into like a career? Like what does your typical sort of week look like? Because I know it's a hard grind. I know it's very different for every other person, but like, what do you need to do right to get recognized? I think the recognition I've received, I think, has just been for me being myself and truly. And when I first started, I was putting on a bit of an accent when I was recording. And I remember I put out my first EP that's now thankfully nowhere to be found.
In the archive somewhere.
In the archives. Maybe a couple people have it downloaded. And then I put it out and it was a vibe. And then one of my homies came to the first gig and I rapped. The best I think I'd probably ever done, because it was the first official one at Valhalla.
Yeah.
With some Loco and Cam. And then
I think I was at that one too. Yeah.
And one of my bros just grabbed me and was like, "Why aren't your recordings like what you just did? Like, you sound nothing like in the recordings." And I was like, "True." Like, it was a light bulb moment. Like, so from that moment, it was trying to just work out how to be natural and be myself. And I think the project I'm about to release, I think it's the first true artistic expression of who I am right now. It's kind of a time capsule of where I am. But yeah, going back to the question, like the grind of the week to week, I guess it fluctuates, and it fluctuates for every different person, and depends what the goals and intentions are. But for me, it's I'm just trying to keep pushing myself to try and do the best that I can possibly do. And I think, yeah, it's an interesting thing when you're having to be self-motivated. I'm sure you're much the same with the podcast. Like you without you doing stuff, then nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it's a pretty buzzy kind of problem to solve. Not even a problem. I don't want to say problem, but it's a buzzy thing to try work out. But yeah, I think being in the Wellington scene has been really instrumental in the success that I've found so far. Yeah.
What does it mean to be like an artist in today's age, where it's changed so much from back in the day when you're selling like vinyl records? Like, things are just so much more digitalized now. You've got Spotify, you've got social media, you've got Reels, you've got TikTok, like, to really build up your following. It's not just doing gigs anymore and getting like a feature on the radio. How much has that changed? Because it just seems so different to like what I know the Beatles had to deal with, or like Eminem bloody 25 years ago, and Dr. Dre.
I guess everything's changed, but I couldn't say I had a part in that whole world. I'm a bit envious. I would have loved to have been burning CDs. I think when I first started writing, I was so jealous of the mixtape era of hip hop. Just the being able to upload stuff for free online, like just pull whatever samples you want without having to clear it. But the older I get, I'm understanding it's more of a gift and a curse, kind of like it's a blessing, but then at times it's like, because it almost feels like a need to make content. Which is all good, because that's a vibe. And I had a beautiful conversation on Wednesday with a guy called MC Crafty, Jules, and we were talking about how it's pretty fun. Like, it's nice to be playing the game of creating content, but then it's like towing that line of don't want to be sucked in and just be doing that, or just be even just consuming the content. Like, it's that weird, like, it's easy. It's pretty easy to just pick up your phone and keep going.
Totally.
But I do get excited at the fact that at all moments there's millions of people ready to watch whatever I'm about to post. Like, not maybe it won't.
You've got millions of followers.
No, not me. Like, I don't know how algorithms really work. But there's like potential.
There's the potential for things to really pop off and go viral.
And not that that's the reason, but it's just kind of, that's where the excitement is. It's like, oh, people will see this who I would never have interacted with. That's the gift, I think, is how connected it is.
Do you see a lot of people being stuck in that almost digital form of creating music, which outside of like social media, they're not doing like shows and stuff? And is that sort of underlooked or overlooked by the music industry, those sort of people? Or is it all just like an acceptance of where things are at today? It's a real deep question.
No, that's a main question. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think a lot of people probably overlook it, and a lot of people probably like judge them and act like it's not important. But I think it's all just individual catering, eh? I think that the music industry itself is now leaning more in towards like the TikTok world and the content creation, which is all good. That's not bad or a good thing. It's just like the natural progression.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Till it ain't.
Till it ain't. Bars. Nah, jokes. But I think I don't know. I don't think I can answer. I think it's a pretty broad question. But from what I can tell is that it's it just depends on what people's intentions are. I think that's what it comes back to, because if people want to just create content and want to not do shows, that's fine, because shows are pretty daunting at times.
Bro, I'm assuming most of the people listening to this podcast, me myself, like, for someone to jump on stage in front of like thousands, what's the most people you performed in front of?
For one of our sets, I think it was about 650-ish.
650 human beings vibing out, wanting to have a good time, and you're the center of attention, obviously with your band. Like, what is that feeling to jump on stage in front of so many people and like perform music, perform your art? Like, that's got to be fucking surreal. It's
pretty buzzy, bro. Like, it's an incredible feeling. I kind of itch for it. I think I'm just built to really long for. I spent my whole life looking up to musicians. I think the moment I got the opportunity, I haven't wasted it. I don't think there's been a moment where I've been on stage and haven't been really like thankful that I'm there.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's to 5 people or 600. So it's but yeah, it's an incredible opportunity to be able to do it and then have people react as if they're enjoying it, which is always a nice thing.
Do you make like eye contact with people in the crowd? Do you have like people you usually put your head to and like vibe with them, or?
Sometimes anyone that's vibing, I'll lock in.
Yeah.
But it's buzzy, the looking around the crowd aspect of it, because I don't know how many words in one of the songs, but I'm trying to remember. That's the main goal, is remember my lyrics, and then secondly perform the lyrics, and then thirdly, like, look around.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's funny, I'll be like locking eyes with someone and just going for it, and then I'll realize I'm staring at someone and I'm like, oh,
true. Because I've always wondered about that, because sometimes if you do go to a gig, you see a musician that you really enjoy, you can have like moments of the artist on stage where they're like, it's exactly what you're talking about, like they're looking at you, you're looking at them, you're just having this moment, we're just vibing out.
For real.
But now you're saying that it might just be a blank sheet and they're just
yeah, I guess it just depends on how the artist's brain works. But for me, it's like I'll just be bouncing between making sure I'm having a moment, or not making sure, but having a moment.
Yeah. You don't want to look too long, That might get a bit weird.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it depends, because a lot of the songs that I've been writing recently for the past year have been really centered around showing a more vulnerable side of myself through my lyrics. And so it's been interesting. With every gig, I can now see the moments that it's actually connecting with people.
Cool.
And that's the incredible part of like having those moments.
Yeah.
And then there's like the fun ones where it is just like dancing around like, oh.
Yeah, yeah. I've always wondered, do you practice those moves before you get on the stage? Like, you see some musicians and artists, like they got these like little gimmicks, like little moves. Not saying that you've got them, but I always watch them. I'm like, do you practice that in the mirror when no one's watching?
Nah, not really.
Or natural.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
Maybe I see some, I'm like, oh, stop. I think when I was first starting, you're good. Test with the mic to check the 1 2 coming through.
Oh, it's kind of free. Let's go.
But yeah, I think when I was first starting, definitely in the mirror, like with a microphone, like almost like dreaming, being like, this is what it's gonna be like. And then for the first 3 shows, when I was just emceeing over a DJ, I'd be practicing the set in front of the mirror and just like going for it just to make sure that I got it. Whereas now I'm pretty happy with remembering the lyrics and like knowing, like just being more true to myself. I think is that. But I think at times I could probably do more practicing. There's the gig on Thursday, the intro to the upcoming album and the intro that we play live. It's pretty like deep, and I forgot the lyrics, so I had to like try freestyle matching the deep vibe, which was a real interesting coin to try flip. But it worked all right.
I was going to ask that, like, what do you do if you do forget the lyrics? You just be honest and straight up about it, or do you just freestyle?
I freestyle.
Hope, you can kind of get away with it.
I practice my freestyling a lot from the beginning of writing and the beginning of this whole process. And I freestyle from it, but normally I find myself rapping that I've messed up the line. Like, so I'll be like, oops, I just messed up the lyric, it's all good, and then go
Sure,
from there.
and you go into it.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of out myself because no one would know. I said that at the last show. I was like, I messed up the lyrics on that one, but none of you know because it's unreleased.
Yeah.
So I don't even need to say that. But
Yeah.
the one thing that's been getting me is my laugh on stage. I've got a bit of a like cackle. It's
A witch's cackle.
Yeah. Well, and I'll just be like, after the show, maybe like most gigs will be like 3 people. Like, oh, bro, nice laugh.
Like, at what point are you laughing? Is like in between sets?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, or just like, yeah, just anything. I'll just talk because I have been graced with loving to talk shit, and so
You're a McClean. Come on, you got it from your brother.
yeah, but not
Shout
like
out
not talking shit in terms of like being like
Yeah.
up, like
Yeah.
but just talking and just talking for the sake of talking. And I'm getting better at picking my moments of that. I used to do it in between every song, and then so with the talking becomes the laughing and then the silly shenanigans.
The silly shenanigans.
But it's a blessing. It's hard not to enjoy myself when I'm blessed with such incredible people up on stage.
Yeah, bro, definitely. What do you reckon we can do to like encourage more musicians and artists, or just support them? Because it's such a crucial part, I think, of society and like the culture is having music. Like, I'm such a massive music fan. I feel awkward if throughout my day I'm not listening to either music or a podcast. Like, I need that noise just for my own like sanity.
For real.
So I think like the power of music is sort of overlooked, and it's kind of just expected to be like a thing that's there, but we don't really probably do enough to like foster and support that as like a career opportunity for artists. And obviously it's hard to get genuine musicians, because you need to build music and create music that people like listening to, right? If you do want to set a good career for it. But what can if you were Prime Minister, Will McClean, the right honourable, what would you do to like encourage more musicians in our country?
Probably start with like more funding and like paying opportunities. I think it's and that's, I don't know much about the economy, so I can't really speak too much on that. But from what it seems is that there's the amount of people consuming music versus the amount of people getting paid for the music consumed, like the artist, just doesn't really add up, I think. Because I'm much the same. I have a soundtrack to my day, a soundtrack to my year. Yeah. Just from start to finish, I'm pretty much music.
Totally.
And I think funding, a lot of funding, but then like outside of that, just supporting people, showing up to gigs, whether it's your friends or someone that you don't know, or that, and you don't need to be going out the house all the time, but just like make a conscious effort. If you like something, share it once on your story, and you don't need to but that's what I would encourage. I think is not just for music, just support anyone that's trying to do something.
Yeah, you're really good at doing that, like uplifting people around you. And like I know whenever I've had stuff which are going off, if it's with the podcast or whether, you're usually one of the first people to share it. And I see you do that for like all of your homies on social media, which is sick. It's such a little thing, but it goes a long way.
For real, because that's it. It's quite a small thing in terms of how easy it is to do. But I have found myself like thinking with the ego hat and being like, nah, I don't want to post 10 stories in one day. Yeah. But then like, it's just pixels on a screen at the end of the day.
Yeah, hard out.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But I do think, I don't think anyone needs to do anything like sharing stuff. But that's what I'd encourage. If you like something, someone else will probably like it too. So if you can show someone, why not?
Yeah, that's the best form of marketing as well,
Real.
Like just referring something, or I think especially in person, like if you meet a group of people and you're like, oh, yo, this Will McClean guy is fucking sick, you got to check him out. Like that goes way further than a share on social media or like a sponsored ad post on Instagram. Yeah.
Nah, for real. And I think that's I felt really blessed and grateful for having done an abundance of shows over the like 2020 and 2021 kind of years, the 2 years like post all the COVID, with us being able to have gigs. It was just pretty much every weekend, or maybe every second weekend for a whole year we were gigging.
Unreal.
And yeah, that was, I think, how a lot of people heard the name and started coming to shows was just because word of mouth.
Yeah.
And obviously social media.
Yeah.
But I do think that it was good to be able to have a lot of conversations with people saying, "Oh, my friend just bought me because they saw you 2 weeks ago."
Yeah.
Which is a blessing.
Have you ever had any like never meet your hero moments? Because you're sort of getting into those circles where you're meeting people like Tom Scott, you're at the same festival. Have you had any of those situations where you're like, oh, I just wish I kept that guy and his impression of what he would be like to myself, you know?
Not really, not in terms of someone else. Everyone's been lovely pretty much that I've met. Everyone's pretty genuine, which is beautiful, I think. Because I think the New Zealand and Wellington, but New Zealand music industry is quite like, New Zealand's small,
right?
Like comparatively. And so I think if someone was not very nice, then everyone would slowly or quite quickly start hearing about it. But then in terms of the coin being on me, when I started doing like festivals and it'd be like, yo, what do you want to drink? What variety are you after? So it's like, oh, I can pick any. And then so naturally we'd
Cody's, Smirnoff.
Nah, none of that.
Double Browns.
But yeah, there's a festival up in Kapiti where I don't like to go too hard before gigs. Went pretty hard before the gig.
Like beers and stuff.
Yeah. Just like, I just like to be as good as I can. I have a few and just chill with it. But after the gig, just full send in the green room. And you know Amon Kong, the magician?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What was it? Neighborhood Noise? Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
And so that was at Neighborhood Noise.
I don't think I was at the green room. I don't know where I was at, like, mentally and physically.
Yeah. To be fair, same. But I know at one point I had a yarn to Dirty from Eno and Dirty.
Yep.
And at the start of the night, introduced myself like before going on stage, so I was still chilling. Had a yarn, like told him what my buzz is. And we had a nice little conversation, left it at that. Then after, I saw him and I was like wasted. And I was like, yo, bro, if you're ever in Wellington and you need a place to crash, bro, you're welcome to stay in like, mine. So that was just why I said that. Like, I was trying to be genuine. He's probably good for accommodation. So that was the moment where I walked away like, oh, yo, don't get too messed up and talk to him.
Did he act a bit weird?
No, he was fine. He said, thanks, Will.
Oh, right.
He was great. He probably... Yeah, I don't know.
Damn, that's one of those things that you wake up the next morning, you're like, that was so cringe.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So that's why I don't
Bro, I love you. We could be best mates.
Yeah, it wasn't as
hold
bad
my
as
hand, bro.
Yeah, but it's definitely. I try to pick my moments. If I'm playing a festival and I'm blessed to be in the room with people I look up to and I'm inspired by, I'll either choose to wear the hat of networking and having beautiful conversations, or just shake their hand and say you didn't mean and keep going. Yeah, that's the kind of, I tried to work that out pretty quick.
Damn, here I was expecting you to like spill the tea and be like, yeah, this guy's a real dickhead. Exposed.
Nah, never. Everyone's lovely from what I can see.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, we had a good night. Good night last night with some of the Black Seeds at a bar.
Unreal.
And everyone that was coming through there was just like phenomenally nice. Kings pulled through just as I was leaving, so had a yarn about how I was keen to support him on his next Welly show. Man. So it's just, I try to take every opportunity that I can talk to someone just to let them know that they've inspired me if they have. Yeah. That's like first and foremost the goal. And then secondly, if you ever want to work, I'm keen. Yeah. Nah, totally, man.
And on the other side of that, like what has it been like? I know we spoke gently before the podcast, but dealing with like haters and getting your first hater.
Yeah.
What's that experience been like for you?
It's all good, eh? Like, it was buzzy, like when there's been little hate comments and little bits and bobs here and there. But I mean, when someone's hating, it shows that, I think you said as well, it shows that you're doing things right. Yeah, for real. Unless obviously you've got no people loving you.
Unless you're getting cancelled, then you should probably look in the mirror.
Definitely. Yeah. But I think if someone takes the time out of their day to tell you that they don't like what you've done, it's like, firstly, like, gotta feel a bit bad for them, because like, unless it's constructive criticism, but it's never constructive criticism. Nah,
it's not, eh? So what was your first hateful comment that you got online? Or like your first experience of a hater?
It was just some fella from Radahi on Facebook just commented on, we had like a live to air on Radioactive FM. Yeah. And he just quoted one of my lyrics that's like, what's the
So he fully went into it and
Like,
actually took out the time to like timestamp and quotes.
Yeah, like he was like, I think it was something about still just trying to be me or something about being authentic.
Yeah.
And he like just was like quoted it, and it was like, oh, with that fake accent, everyone's seeing through your like bullshit lies. Like just went real in, and I was like
a paragraph? Are we talking about?
5 lines, yeah, but pretty close to a paragraph. Couple sentences.
Man's had a bad day.
Yeah, for real. Kevin from Ratahi. No, I don't actually know if it's Kevin, but
Kev, come
probably,
on,
yeah. But yeah, I was firstly like, I think you're wrong because I know what my voice sounds like.
Exactly.
And I was like, secondly, like, first hate comment we on.
Yeah.
And I think I just replied like, thanks for the like something like thanks for the comment. See you at a show soon. Something like that.
That's mean. That's nice. It is wild though how you can like scroll through hundreds of different comments and interactions from people who might be commenting like, yeah, man, this is sick, good on you, like real encouraging stuff, and then your eye will lock onto one which is negative, and you'll still remember it like 2 years later, 5 years later.
For real. Well, like, the rainy days stand out more in summer.
Yeah. That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
I like that.
the
rainy days stand out more in summer.
Because you're like used to the sun, and then it's like as soon as it's a rainy day, it's like you really bathe in the rain. You're really soaking in it. And I think that's for me and the people I'm around, and I think even not everyone, but I think a lot of people are really blessed to be alive. And I mean, we all, I feel blessed, but like unfortunately situations for some people steer them down separate ways. But I think, yeah, I'm really blessed and privileged to be alive. And so I think we're so used to seeing good around us, like without even realizing, like, especially here, we've got trees all around us. We've got a beautiful city. We've got water to swim in. We've got anything we need at our disposal. We've got mountains to drive to. But we're so used to seeing it that whenever there is that rainy day, it stands out more because it's like you're just used to seeing shit be all good.
Yeah, that's so true.
But that's personally, like I can't really blanket that for everyone because I don't know how the brains work for everyone else. But that's my thinking. The people I surround myself with, really grateful to be in the summer days when
Yeah, bro. Unless you're in like fucking Wellington and it's like the sunny days actually stand out more.
Yeah,
even absolutely. In summer because it's just fucking raining all the time.
Yeah. When the wind's not blowing.
Yeah, that's it. That's it though. When the wind's not blowing.
Yeah.
Can't beat Welly on a good day. Don't say it.
But that was almost a laugh. That was almost a stage laugh. So it goes up a few notches.
Oh yeah. If you do want another one during this episode, a stage laugh, let me know because I want to analyze it.
We'll delay it out. We'll get it a real big production moment.
Yeah, and we'll get people to like comment as well, like chuck in your feedback around Will's laugh.
Exactly. Yeah,
the man needs some confidence.
Whatever your favorite laugh is, it's all good. I think it's a good thing to be. Good thing to be critical of is a laugh.
Well, yeah, and it's you. Like we're talking about being authentic. Like if that's your laugh, that's your laugh. Exactly. And people, it's like memorable as well. People might be like, I want to see Will, the guy with the sweet laugh when he performs.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's laughs are good. Good for the soul.
They're real good, eh? What are some of your like best memories growing up, bro, in Pukerua Bay? I've got so many cool ones, so many fucked up ones. I feel like we were in this like perfect timestamp growing up where like we weren't fully immersed by technology just yet. Yeah. Technology was coming into the inn. Our parents weren't all like helicopter parents. There was a degree of like autonomy, like let kids be kids. You can go rummage around the place. You just be a kid. You know when your parents tell you what it was like growing up when they were like our age or whatever. And it was just like their parents, they wouldn't even care where they were as long as they showed up for like bedtime, whatever. Yeah. I feel like we had like a degree of independence, not like that, but where we could sort of do our own shit. I'm just curious, like have you got any crazy memories from Pukerua Bay growing up?
So many, bro. the hut behind the preschool, like down the hill.
Oh, the one that
they built up. That got like passed down from, I think it was like the Dennisons started. Or I don't know, maybe it was before them, but it was like, I swear every Dennison did it up. Yeah. And just many a night spent there.
In a hut in the bush.
Yeah, trying stuff for the first time.
Yeah, unreal.
Escaping from the parents' eyes. But But yeah, I think just the hours spent at the beach is the main standout.
Yeah.
Running around the rocks, finding crabs, throwing sand at each other, dirt bomb base, bro.
Dirt bomb, bro. It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Fuck,
If anyone's
so
from
good.
Pukerua Bay, they'll hopefully be like, oh.
Yeah, I know. It's and probably like half people listening to this are like, what the hell are you guys even talking
for
about?
real.
But
Pukerua Bay is such a beautiful place. Sandwich right between Porirua and Kapiti.
check it out. Go to the dairy. It's probably like the
Definitely.
best attraction in Pukerua Bay.
Yeah.
Or the tennis courts.
Is the bookstore still there? Surely.
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever been in there.
It's just some like old guy laundering money.
Yeah.
Like selling
Yeah,
books.
maybe, to be fair. But yeah, I've got a song. It's not on this upcoming album, but the album that I'm working on after this one. I can't remember the exact how the like verse starts, but there's a bit. It's like Jack and I played in the sunshine out all day. Mom called us in from the porch, ate tea, then we leave and stay out too late. So it was like this little, cause felt like Thomas's Tramp.
Thomas's Tramp,
and just
the amount of fights
yelling.
and wrestling that go on there, the amount of like broken teeth. I've still got one of my like adult teeth are like missing in the paddock somewhere at Pukerua Bay School.
It's probably a time capsule now.
Yeah, it will be. They'll like dig it up in like a million years.
Surely.
They'll like reborn me back into Earth.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's my theory. I have a buzzy theory about, how technology seems to be just advancing at a
Rapid rate.
Yeah, a rapid way.
A ratty way.
Yeah, a ratty. And I think that there's a possibility
Go
that
on.
when we pass, it'll
Yep.
be like, oh no, this is the end. My eyes are closing, and like almost like when you sleep, you might be dreaming at night, and then suddenly, boom, 100 years in the future, like, technology means we can zap your bones alive and create you as you are.
So you think your consciousness will come
I don't
back 100 years from now, and you'll be in your same physical body,
I
or a
don't
different
think,
physical
I don't
body?
think, but there's a possibility that technology could get to that point. That's my theory.
So you die, and then you're like doing whatever happens to you after you die, and then you get zoomed back like 100, 200, 300 years.
No,
into
not like in the future. So
In the
like
future, yeah,
300 years in the future, and then they'll be like, we found your bones and welcome back.
I'll be like, bro, have my bones back.
Yeah,
You just
come
like
on.
saggy skin.
Yeah, that's my theory.
That's okay. That's good.
I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know if it's plausible. I don't know much about technology. I can,
Yeah. Speaking about like theories, one of my favorite, I don't know if you call it a quote, but it's if it's possible for time travel to exist, time travel already
Yeah,
exists.
for real.
That's pretty crazy.
That's
to
me
think
now.
about.
Yes, Stephen Hawking. I think it was Stephen Hawking's held a time travelers meeting, but sent out the invitation the day later.
Wait, what?
So
How
like,
does that work?
So he like put it out, was like, it's for this day, but didn't say anything. And then the next day sent it out because if time travel was possible, they would have showed up. So that's how he proved it wasn't possible, because like they would have known
But
eventually.
also quite like rich of Stephen Hawking for thinking that the time travelers will listen to him.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
come on, mate. How big's your ego? Like, why are they showing up to your meeting? They've probably got more better things to do.
Maybe, but if they're time travel, they can show up to every meeting.
I guess.
I don't know how time travel works.
I guess so. It's kind of like that. Have you seen that Interstellar movie?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and it's like the dimensions. It's like
Crazy.
8 different dimensions you can travel across.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Mm.
Some movies are incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is nuts. Stephen Hawking's a buzzy one, eh? Like how I want to know who the person or company was that like created his chair, because he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
How smart's the person that made Stephen Hawking's like chair to make him communicate?
Yeah.
Have they got to be smarter than Stephen Hawking's?
Probably smarter in chair making. That's
And
my
chair making, and engineering.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Have you seen The Theory of Everything?
I haven't finished it halfway
Man,
through.
I haven't seen it for years, but I remember that being a pretty incredible film.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Have you got any other? What about like aliens, bro? Do you reckon they're out there? Have they visited Earth? Did they build the pyramids?
I don't know much. I don't know much about aliens. I got to admit that. But what I do know is that I reckon there'll be. I don't know, but I think there's for sure cellular life out there.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
probably on Mars in frozen water or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it's just like working out whether it's intelligent life.
yeah,
And then the time before us, maybe they came when when it was just cellular life here, like intelligent aliens, they came, they're like, oh, it's just cells, boom, go.
Or they like gave us a boost or something
Yeah.
to accelerate our growth.
Yeah.
Gave us some tools and
Mushrooms.
some magic. Maybe they did that. Maybe they planted some magic mushrooms, and
Yeah.
that's where we got these ideas to like create metal and
Yeah, well, that's the
electricity.
stoned ape theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's if anyone's listening that hasn't heard it, it's the theory that back in the day, I don't think it's a theory. I think it's because it can't be proven or something. But it's the theory that back in the day when before we evolved, there's looking for food, foraging, a big pack of mushrooms appears, so boom, eat it, go into a 4-hour trip and suddenly work out, hey, maybe we need to have some shelter, or maybe maybe shelter was already a thing back then. But
yeah, I've never done mushrooms, but are those the sort of thoughts that you do when you're on it?
I wouldn't know. I mean, I think we're thinking way different to how the brain was thinking back then. Yeah. What I can say, I won't say if I've done mushrooms or not, but I can.
Allegedly.
I had an incredible. I gotta admit, I had an incredible.
Cut the shit, Will.
Yeah, I had an incredible connection with feeling. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I think mushrooms is a tool that should be looked into more.
Well, they're starting to do a lot of stuff around like post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD,
for real,
for like war vets, army vets,
yeah,
who have come back into like normal society and they're real fucked up, but then using, I think even stuff like MDMA and psychedelics. Yeah, and I've seen some really good results.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. I've had conversations with people who have been microdosing, and it's been the first thing that's been helping with their depression.
Wow.
Microdosing mushrooms. But I think it's like pretty buzzy that that's illegal, and then you can just like pop and get 20 energy drinks and smash them and go get on the piss and ruin your liver and like vape.
It's crazy,
it's pretty weird, but
yeah.
I'm not in charge. I'm not Prime Minister just yet, so
yeah. It is wild, eh? And I think we came so close with the like marijuana referendum, where I think those like overseas votes almost skewed it towards the favor of people voting yes. But it is insane, and it's crazy to also think that alcohol was also illegal once.
For real,
you know, the prohibition on alcohol.
Yeah, I think the marijuana thing. It's like marijuana. I could crack up for that, eh?
Sound like a police officer or something.
Yeah.
Marijuana is hurting the kids.
With the weed debate, I saw an interview where Tom Scott was talking about it, saying how it was 51% for no, and he's like, 1% of stoners like would have forgot to vote. Like they just like
that's so true.
Yeah. And I was like, he's right.
They were like, yeah, that's so funny.
But it's outrageous, and I don't want to just like steal the conversation that he had, but he was like saying how outrageous it was that it's the two debates, or the two referendums that were out was, you know, the end of life and the cannabis, and he said a quote that's like, it shows that more New Zealanders are like, you know, more scared of like a plant than death. Like,
true.
So like, and he said it crack up like more New Zealanders they fear dread less than dreadlocks.
I like that.
Yeah,
he's full of
shout out
like
Tom
that.
Scott.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, while we're on the Tom Scott yarn, he's the reason I'm mainly doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I saw him play on a homebrew tour when I got into San Fran. I'm not gonna dom myself in, but I
allegedly.
I got in when I was underage, and I was watching him rap, and I just had a moment of, this is what I'm gonna do. This is like, I'm gonna play here. I'm gonna put out music. Like, I've never had something like that where it was just like, boom.
Wow.
My whole life trajectory changed in a moment.
How old were you?
17.
17.
Like, I don't think I'd wrote a lyric yet. Or I'd wrote lyrics, but I hadn't been like rap. Whereas I was just so blown away, and that's my whole life trajectory changed because of that night.
And so thinking back to like that conversation we had earlier around like memories around music, is that probably like the catalyst memory or like experience which led you towards this path?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's the catalyst on the career vibe.
Yeah,
like, for sure, hands down.
What is it about Tom Scott because he's the godfather of hip hop for our generation. Like, yeah, there's been amazing Kiwi greats before him, but fuck, he was the artist. Homebrew, you know, now Avondale Bowling Club. That was just in our headphones 24/7 growing up.
Yeah.
Like, man, that song Alcoholic, whenever I hear that now, I just got like memories of me 17, hot summer's day. Like, it's he's the Don. So what was it about his music and his like flair that really inspired you?
It was the authenticity, for real. It was just firstly hearing an accent and saying, wow, that's a New Zealand accent. It sounds like, you know, it's not American. Like, and I know that there's been incredible, you know, like earlier, like we've had Scribe, Goat, Savage, you know, even Shea Fu. Yeah. It's like we've had phenomenal New Zealand hip hop for since its beginning. Even I believe Zane Lowe was in he was in a thing called Urban Disturbance, I think. I was having to someone about it. But yeah, it was firstly hearing an accent and being like, oh yeah, that's relatable.
Yeah, he owns it, eh? He's not like,
and then the lyrical content was exactly what I was going through and feeling at the time. Yeah. It was what I needed to hear. Yeah. And I think that was the thing. I was just like hearing someone talk about, you know, running out of gas. It's such a like easy thing, but it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, bro. He's just, I think the best way to sum him up without, you know, getting too much on him is like, he's a literal genius when it comes to what he's doing. For real.
And I couldn't even begin to imagine the amount of people he's inspired.
Oh, 100%. And he's almost like this New Zealand national treasure in a way, where I listen to some of his music and some of his bars, I'm like, how has this person not blown up internationally? But he's just this little kept gem at the bottom of the world. It's I don't know if there's maybe not a market for that sort of kind of New Zealand hip hop overseas, but
2 sold out London shows coming up for him.
That's huge. Club. That's mean.
Yeah, I'd love to support him on a show.
Yeah, bro, that'd be a dream. That'd be a full circle for you.
Yeah, we're getting close to him seeing one of the shows.
Nice. Do you send like a little DM from time to time?
Yeah. We have bits of yarns every now and then, but I'm still just chilling.
Yeah. Any like, you want us crashing my place, bro? Got any Wellington shows?
None of that. Got that off my chest early. Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it's I think New Zealand hip hop's still evolving. I mean, everything's always still evolving. Yeah. But I really think a lot of the people that I've been blessed to be around in Wellington, just world class artists. Sim Loco, my cousin. Yeah. Second cousin once removed, but you know who's counting.
I'm not.
The song that we've just been started working on last week is like, I'm just like, how do I manage to be on a song with someone so incredible? I'm just blessed.
Especially so someone like that you're actually related to. Yeah. That's super special, man. Yeah. That's super special.
I actually, on the like being on a song with related, with how AI is going, real buzzy stuff, you can upload a song and then it can split all the instruments and vocals, and then you can like listen to them individually.
Like any song.
Any song.
Wow.
Any song, and it's a bit shady sometimes, like a bit. It's not like the best technology. Yeah. But I found a way to get Dad's vocals from his recordings, so I'm gonna be able to make a song with Dad.
No way. Incredible, bro. That's insane. Yeah. That's fucking so special as well for people that aren't listening. You know, your old man. I'm not even gonna go, and you can sort of share how significant that would be for you and why.
Yeah, so my dad passed away when I was 5. Life, you know, with life comes death, so like it is what it is. And like, you know, shout out mum, superhero. Bro. I don't think I'll ever meet someone as amazing as my mum.
Bro, because Jack would have been
Jack was 8 and 5.
You were 5? Yeah.
She paused her life. We were her life from then. Yeah. I don't think there's enough words invented to sum up how much I love my mum.
Yeah, bro.
But nonetheless, yeah. So dad was in a band back in the day, The Vacuum. So we've got a vinyl pressed of 3 of his songs, and then my cousin Colin, shout out Colin, he had a record player that could record whatever vinyl was spinning. Like I think it's made for sampling or burning or whatever. So he burns it into audio files. And I just had them on my PC, my laptop for years, and I just dragged it in. I was just sitting there one day like, I reckon I could get that vocals.
Dude, and so you've tested it and it works really well?
So it works enough.
Wow.
So I think we're gonna host a massive it's his 60th next year, Dad's. We're gonna host a massive party at Mum's.
Yeah.
So it'll be a vibe, big gig.
Bro, mate, I'll be there. Are you gonna try and debut the song there?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I will see how
that will be fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's like a 60th birthday present for your old man.
We'll see how that works. But yeah, pretty incredible technology.
Yeah, man, that is so wild. Shit, yeah, 5 and 8, dude, that's crazy. I know because my daughter just turned 8 last week, and I remember Jack, your bro, sent me a message, and he was like, from almost this point onwards, I would have known Kyla longer than I would have known my dad. And that just sort of hit me. Yeah. Just like how also it hit me into this perspective of like, yes, that's crazy, but also how lucky I am to be a dad and to be alive to share these moments with Kyla.
For real, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
That's beautiful, bro. Yeah, it's a real buzzy one, eh? Like you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
And so I've really, last year was a pretty big year of learnings for me. Like quite a lot of change and a lot of ups and downs, peaks and valleys. It was pretty bizarre. I was experiencing almost like the best feelings I've ever felt, as well as like the worst feelings at the same time, at like exactly the same time. So I like was just in a weird space of like playing amazing shows and doing amazing things career wise. Like that front couldn't have been better. But then like my personal shit was just slowly going to shit. Yeah. So I spent the second half of last year just being conscious of my breathing, and practicing gratitude was a big one that I really took on board.
How do you do that when you say practicing gratitude? What does that look like for you?
Just even like make a cup of coffee, smell the coffee first, just think about like all the hands that made in, like, you know, people that where that coffee came from, where it grew, people planted, like all that side of thing, and then just have a moment of like, thanks, boom, start my coffee. Just and I fell off a bit, and I think hopefully from this conversation on, I'll keep doing it. But yeah, just anything that I think there's so much to be grateful for, and I think consciously practicing gratitude really like lifts your head up in a way you don't even realize.
Yeah, especially in such like a fast-paced world.
Yeah,
for
sure,
100%.
Yeah, so it's and then on the breathing side of things, it was so instrumental last year to me that my next album is called Don't Forget to Breathe.
That's cool. I like that.
Exclusive announcement right there. Boom.
Yeah, boom.
Mic
drop it. When's that dropping?
Hopefully, it'll be within the next 3 months for sure.
Cool.
Just finishing off the last mixes and all that, and then yeah, it's all go. So we're gonna do one little single, and then yeah, drop it.
Mean, bro.
And then on to the next.
There we go. Heard it here first. We'll finish up with some like quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Then we might end with one of your songs as well.
Mean.
So, Will McClean, what brings you true happiness?
See, I think my answer's changed. I would have said creating music and playing shows, but I think just being grateful for my family and friends whenever I get to spend time with them. That's my true happiness right now.
Advice you wish you knew when you were younger?
Slow down.
What does legacy mean to you?
So much. Yeah, I think one of my missions is to just leave a legacy. That's I think the legacy that my dad's left that I'm trying to like, that I began to follow with like the music. I think it's driven me so much.
What does a legacy mean to you though? Like what does that look like?
I think having people know on the inside and think, I don't even want to say highly, but know the impact that has been caused by the person who set the legacy. I don't know if set the legacy is the right
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think like I was about to say have a conversation, but there's no conversation needed. I think just knowing the impact of someone. I think that's the true.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
Mean, bro. If you could change one thing in New Zealand, what would this be?
There's a lot of people without homes, and there's a lot of empty homes.
Leave it on that. It's nice. There's a couple more actually. What do you believe is the main thing that's holding back young people in New Zealand?
Scrolling.
I
don't know.
Scrolling
maybe not.
and
That's a bit
vaping.
to be fair, that's a bit of a
Fair though.
Yeah, fair.
I think it's real fair.
Yeah, no, I think so, but I do think there's a lot of joy in being entertained.
Yeah.
But it is pretty crazy how much people scroll.
Yeah, bro. This is one from Jack, so we'll give him kudos and shout outs for this question. Yep. He was like, bro, I've been listening to the potty, and there's these, when you do the quick fire questions, I've got one for you. I was like, go on.
Man.
So
shout out Jack, firstly.
Shout out Jack. This one is, if your life was a movie genre, what genre would your life be?
I want to say comedy, because probably comedy, to be fair.
Why comedy?
I
you're like a bit of a rom-com, romantic comedy.
Yeah, maybe rom-com.
Mix of some thriller.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'd say comedy. My brain works a weird way. As soon as anyone says anything, unless it's obviously we're having like a moment, I just will be instantly trying to think of jokes. Yeah, that's probably why I'd say comedy.
True.
But I say I'm not that funny. I don't think.
No, it's a good one, bro. Yeah, mate. So good to have you on the podcast finally. Always a pleasure, brother. What I love about doing this work with the podcast and having, Corin on the show as well, Corin Braddock, is that it's an opportunity for this platform, as small as it may be, but it's growing, to profile, some of my homies who are doing like really cool shit. So awesome to have you on the show, man.
Bro, thank you, bro. It's incredible. You're killing it. I'm beyond stoked of the trajectory that you're setting out.
Cheers, bro.
I'm really, I only know that you're killing it, and I'll support you the whole way.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. Before we go though, where can people keep in touch with you and your mahi?
At Will McClean. So Will McClean with 2 C's in the McClean. When you say McClean, don't forget 2 C's. Just on everything: Instagram, TikTok, thankfully, Facebook, YouTube's a big one. I'll be dropping music videos on YouTube.
Yep. So
and then just in person. Text me on it. No,
027 I shouldn't give my one away. Sweet, man. We'll chuck some links into the bio of the episode as well. So on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you watch it. Big love. See you guys. Thanks, Will.